Sony revealed which games will be added to the PS Plus Extra and Deluxe catalog in December. Subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and now you'll find out which games will be added to the catalog and which will be removed. The new game in the catalog will be Sonic Frontiers. The story begins when Sonic and his friends are sucked into a wormhole and scattered across a mysterious island. The Hedgehog retains his abilities from previous games. He can still run fast, jump across rails, collect rings, and attack enemies. All of this takes place in the open world and in special levels that look like classic levels from previous parts of the game. There are in the game and giant bosses battles with which are quite interesting and varied by Sonic standards. The next game that will be added to Extra subscription is called Forspoken. The game tells the story of a girl who finds a talking bracelet and finds herself in another world where she gains magical abilities. She has to save it from destruction and reveal the secret of her birth. The next game that adds to the subscription is called F.I.S.T. Forged in Shadow Torch. It's an action-adventure game set in a diesel-punk world. Legion of Machines has taken over Torch City, and the player, controlling the rabbit Rayton, must come out of hiding to fight many evil machines, solve more than one mystery, and save his best friend. The entire world is complex and interconnected, and much of the gameplay is based on exploring it. All locations are radically different from each other, but are part of one big map. To eliminate enemies will be available 3 types of weapons: whip, fist, and drill. Combining them will open up a lot of opportunities to quickly and brutally, or slowly and with grace, to deal with the enemy. The new subscription game is Jurassic World Evolution 2. The second installment of the Jurassic Park simulator develops the ideas of the original. Combined with expanded construction and customization options, this game will be even more ambitious and realistic. The story campaign will immerse us in the history of the events that unfold after the events of the movie Jurassic World 2. The player will have to lead an operation to capture, preserve, and breed dinosaurs, including flying and marine reptiles, which were added after numerous requests from players. Also, in Jurassic World Evolution 2, there is a mode, Chaos Theory, where the player takes part in key episodes of the movies, and will be able to see how events would develop if the heroes face new difficulties and unexpected consequences. The next game that will be added to the Extra subscription is called WRC Generations. In this part of WRC rally races, there are cars with hybrid engines, which added to the game and new mechanics. For example, in such cars, you will have to adjust the battery by changing the engine settings on special stages. For those who like competition, there is a new league mode where you can compete against players close to you in level. The subscription will also include Rabbids Party of Legends, a cooperative game about Rabbids Party of Legends, Coffee Talk, a visual novel about a barista, PHOGS, a puzzle game about 2 dogs connected by a long and flexible belly, a space for the Unbound, an adventure game about an Indonesian schoolboy, and Biped, an action puzzle game with realistic physics. Deluxe and premium subscription holders and PSVR 2 helmets will also have access to Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. In this adventure game, immerse yourself in the world of Star Wars as a mercenary and uncover a series of mysteries in an expanded universe. Enemies are to be killed with energy weapons, but there is a small sideline where you can still play with the Force and lightsaber. Deluxe and premium subscribers will also have access to 2 parts of the platformers: Sly 2 Band of Thieves and Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves, and Naughty Dog's Jack and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. Write in the comments how you like the addition, and I'll tell you about the games that will leave the subscription on December 17th. The first game leaving the subscription in December is Metal Hellsinger. Shooters very rarely offer something new, but this game offered shooting to the beat of heavy music that plays in the background. And the better and more accurate you get at doing this, the more fulfilling it becomes. Gradually, new instruments are added, and at the end there are vocals. And it is all done so competently that if you get into the rhythm, the magic happens by itself. Those who likes shooters, heavy music, and has a sense of rhythm, Metal Hellsinger is simply obligatory for passing. And if you don't have a sense of rhythm, you can switch on a special option in the settings, which will allow you to always hit the beat. Proteus is also leaving the subscription. It is a first-person shooter, inspired by such retro games as Doom, Quake, and Duke Nukem 3D, but it uses modern methods of picture rendering, dynamic lighting, and particle effects. The game features a full, single-player story campaign and a 16-person multiplayer mode. In my opinion, it looks cool, and retro shooters fans will be interested to run around the levels and beat all the crap out of the monsters, along with their insides. On the 17th of December, Solstice will leave the subscription. This is a fantasy action game about growing up of 2 sisters, Briar and Lute, who have inhuman strength and use it to rebuild the city destroyed by ghosts. Briar fights in melee combat and performs combos, while Lute controls the battlefield with otherworldly abilities. Their powers can be combined to perform powerful transformations and unlock unlock their full potential. Dead Island Definitive Edition and Dead Island Riptide will leave the PS Plus Extra catalog in December. This is a survival horror game with RPG elements, in which the main character wakes up in a hotel full of reanimated dead after a drunken binge. The events of the game take place on a tropical island in Papua New Guinea, and from this island, the player has to escape. You can do it, by the way, and alone, and in cooperative up to 4 people. I'll tell you right away that if you have an opportunity, try co-op so the game will bore you not so quickly. Also in December, Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin will leave the subscription. This action RPG is a new vision of Final Fantasy and is a prequel to the alternate universe of the original Final Fantasy. The plot of the game revolves around the main character named Jack and his partners who want to overthrow the evil chaos. The project turned out to be strange for me. On the one hand, it looks like a PS3 game, but it plays like some kind of defect with corridor levels. On the other hand, it's quite typical gameplay for many Japanese action RPGs in which I'm not an expert at all. That's why I can't judge strictly. Apparently, Stranger of Paradise is made primarily for connoisseurs of this genre of games. On the 17th of December, Evil Genius 2 World Domination will leave the subscription. This is a satirical strategy with real-time construction, where you have to play as an evil genius and subjugate the whole world. In Evil Genius 2, the player has to build a criminal lair on a tropical island to secretly create a doomsday device there, running a casino as a cover. A large number of rooms are available for construction, which fulfill certain tasks, keep the base running, and unlock new operations, as well as traps that protect secrets and destroy infiltrating agents. Inside the base, players can train various minions who also help protect and execute villainous plans. Judgment will be leaving the PS Plus Extra catalog in December. It's a third-person action adventure with an emphasis on story and cutscenes, telling the dark story of disgraced lawyer Takayuki Yagami's quest for redemption. Fleeing the ghosts of his past, he becomes a private investigator and works his way through Kamaroti's secret crime network to solve a series of gruesome murders. The game can't be described as an interactive film, sort of like Until Dawn or Detroit Becoming Human, but the cutscenes in this game will probably take up about 70% of the time, so prepare to sit and watch a lot of cinema. Also, Moonscars will be leaving the subscription in December. This is another representative 2D platformer with soul slice elements. Players take control of the character Grey Irma, a warrior made of clay and bones who must track down her creator, a creature named Sculptor. To find the Sculptor, Irma must travel through a world inhabited by creatures of clay, where much of human civilization lies in ruins. The visual style of the game is quite grim, and the gameplay does not tolerate sissies and squirrels. Mega Man 11 will leave the subscription on the 17th of December, and with it will go Mega Man Legacy Collection and Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. The 11th installment of this action platformer retains the gameplay style of the classic Mega Man series. Visually, the game looks very nice, even though the graphics are cartoonish. This time, players have to stop Dr. Billy from using the double gear system, which he invented many years ago when he was studying at the University of Robots, and complete 8 levels, fighting with the latest robots at the end of each one. A new feature of the game is the double gear system, which gives Mega Man 2 additional abilities, one of which allows him to slow down time and dodge attacks. Also, leaving the subscription will be arcade action fighting game Gigabash, Hardcore 2D action Souls-layer Metroidvania Grime, a 3D platformer about an archaeologist who explores the mysterious planet Tinykin, and visual novel Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. If any of these games appeal to you, get them on your console and play them soon. Access to them will close on the 17th of December. Write in comments if you will play something from this list. Click the bell and turn on all notifications so you'll always know which games are coming and going with your PS Plus subscription.